Hey everyone, it's Amy Blue from Once in a Blue Moon coming back to you this evening to show you a little tutorial on how to do a nice stretch bracelet, elastic bracelet. For those of you who've done these before, this might just be a refresher for you. And for those who are brand new, it's going to be really, I hope, really fun for you. And you're going to learn some new things and get bit by the jewelry making bug, because once you do, it can become an obsession, and that's not a bad thing, believe me. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start out with some stretch cord. Now, there are all kinds of stretch cord out there. I've tried a whole bunch of them, and the one I like the absolute best is called Ninja cord. Let's see if I can get this right. It's going to come up backwards, but I'm sorry about that. But this is a 0.5 millimeter flat shaped cord, and it's extremely strong. It says it's one of the best tensile strengths that is out there, and I believe it because my sister and I both love to use this type of cord. It's a little expensive, but it's well worth it. It doesn't seem to rot like some cord can, and it ties really great knots and doesn't stretch out of shape. So that's what we're going to be using today. They have several different sizes, but like I said, we're using the 0.5 millimeter. And so I've measured out on my ruler 12 inches, and this is going to be for a 7¼ about a 7¼ 7½ inch bracelet. And I like to have a little bit longer because I like to have plenty of room in order to tie my knots. So we've went ahead and measured this out, cut it up, and I'm going to do you want to do a pre-stretch on your elastic before we start. And then once we're ready, I've got my beads laid out here. I've got some amber colored crystal cubes, and I've got some gold ear wires, and these are going to be for earrings that we'll do later. Now for the bracelet itself, I have rondelle. These are like an agate bead, a rondelle shape. I have gold fill bead caps for the rondelles. I have agate, and Google is telling me it's a Kentucky agate gemstone that we're going to use in this bracelet. We've got more amber colored cubes, we've got amber colored rondelles, and we also have a gold extension here where we're going to put a charm on the bottom of it. So let's go ahead and get started. The tools that we're going to be using today for this, since it's such a simple elastic bracelet, we're going to use our flush cutters to cut the elastic, which I've already done, so we'll set those aside. And then you just want to go ahead and start. I want the rondelles with the bead caps to be my center focus, so I'm going to start those and just move them out towards the center. So we're going to take a bead cap, thread that on, maybe. There we go. Got it on there. It can want to fight you, but you have to make sure you win every time. So here we go with a faceted rondelle. We're going to do another bead cap. We're going to do an amber crystal cube. Put those on. A lot of times these beads go on easier than another. It's just hard to tell sometimes if you're going to have an easy time or you're going to be fighting it. Some people like to use a needle when they're threading their beads on the elastic, but I find it's easier for me just to try and thread it on the elastic itself. Got another bead cap. we go. Another cube. Find the hole. These are the hardest ones to put on, so once you get through that, it's more smooth sailing, I think. And I think I'm gonna have to take my glasses off. You know, I asked the eye doctor if I should get a different kind of lens for magnifiers when I'm doing this, and he said no. He said, actually, if I give you the strength of what you actually need, you're not going to be able to see anything. So he said that your eyes automatically adjust on their own. That's really strange. I'd never heard that before, but okay, you're the doc. So, and it does work better a lot of times if I take the glasses off and I'm able to see better up close. Okay, so we're going to add these, another cube, and then we're going to continue the design with cubes and a couple of the rondelles. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Hey everyone, I'm back with the strung up bracelet that we had talked about earlier and started. And I've got roughly, I'm going to measure, it should be about 7 inches. Let's go down here. Yep, 7 1/16 is exactly. But we're going to put the charm piece on here. I know there's a proper name for it, but it's not cooperating with me right now. So anyway, I'm going to put that on the one side, okay? And then I'm going to take my other end, and you want to try and make sure that the ends of your elastic are pretty much even. And that's also a good way to measure your bracelet if you're making it for yourself. So you just go ahead and put your hand through, and it looks like they're going to meet. Excuse me, they're going to meet, so that should fit just fine for me. Okay, and if you're going to be making bracelets for other people, of course you always want to make sure that you have them measure, and you want to have them measure it to how they want it to fit. So the next thing we're going to do is tie a knot for the bracelet. So you want to tie an overhand knot. You do this, and then I usually put my finger right here, bring them up in the middle, and then you finish that knot, overhand knot, and tie it tight. Okay, and then to make it even stronger, you want to do a surgical knot. So you're going to cross your wires again, one over the other, go through the loop, and then before you pull it tight, you're going to go over and under one more time, and that will create a surgical knot that you can then pull tight. I'll do one more just for good measure. I'm working on camera angles. This is actually my very first one that I've done with jewelry and with a new tripod, so I want to try and get the best angle I can. So if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them in the comment section. I'd really appreciate it and would love your feedback. Okay, so now you have your knot. You can see right here, and you want to just pull that a little bit to tighten it up, and then you can take your 2 end pieces and you can cut those off. You want to cut them fairly close, but not to where you cut your elastic. So I'm going to come in as close as I can, trim that off. Okay, that gets thrown out, and we have our knot, which is secure, and it will go into the hole of the charm piece I am going to find out what the name of that thing is because now I want to know. I'm sure there's a proper name for it. So then you have your bracelet, you have your charm piece, and I'm going to go ahead and put a charm on here. And what I have is an eye pin, called an eye pin, your straight piece, and then you've got the loop here at the end. And what I'm going to do is take my pliers. I'm going to open the end of this, and you don't want to pull apart like this. You always want to twist. So I take my pliers to the very edge and I twist. And that gives me opening just like that. Then I take my jump ring. Okay, so moving on, we're going to go ahead and make the charm for our bracelet. I have a head pin here. It's just a pin with a flat bottom on it. And I'm going to take my, I decided to go ahead and use a cube that we had put on the bracelet for my charm. You can also buy the ready-made, but I like to have them, you know, to match with the bracelet that I'm working on. So I have it pulled down all the way to the end of the pin. I take my pliers. I'm going to go close to the base of the cube, twist, make it a 90-degree angle. Then I want to cut off part of that, usually probably about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to cut that off, being careful not that it doesn't fly all over the place. Then I'm going to take my round nose pliers, put it at the edge of the pin, and you want it to where you don't have anything sticking out. You don't want to be able to feel it on the edge of the pliers. And then you just take your pliers, and I'm going to roll towards me, and it will create a loop. These can be a little finicky. Sometimes they come out perfect first try. This one is going to be a little bit finicky. Okay. All right. I want to go back in and adjust that loop. Okay. And that's what I have. I take a jump ring, open it up, and again, doing a jump ring, you want to find the center, find the split. Take needle nose pliers, one on one side, one on the other, and you're going to twist away, never opening outwards, but you always want to twist away. And that keeps the jump ring from getting out of shape and weakening it. So I'm going to put that jump ring through my loop. I'm going to put it through the loop that's on my charm extender, and then go ahead and I'm going to twist them back until they're evenly together. And usually you can hear a little click when you pull them back together. Let's get that a little bit better. Okay, that looks really good. So here we have our bracelet with our charm. I think that turned out really good. To put it on, you want to be gentle with it. try not to stretch. And here you have the bracelet, and this is the side with the charm. Okay, and really you can put any type of charm on there that you like. I'm going to take that off, and we're going to do a pair of earrings really quick. And thanks for hanging out with me and staying till the end. I really appreciate that. Okay, here we have our components for the earrings. Okay. We've got some more of the cubes. We've got our ear wires, a little bit of a crystal round bead, and our square cubes. And for some reason I have lost the other ball pin. These are called ball pins because of course you have the little ball on the end. Let's see. Okay, alrighty. I was able to find that second ball pin. I actually had to go back out into the craft room and pull another one. I have no idea where that went to. Maybe it's hanging out with the socks that always disappear out of your laundry. I don't know. But anyway, we have our pin, our ball pin. We're going to go ahead, excuse me, we're going to go ahead and add our cube. Then one of the crystal beads and another of the cube. Now you can do these however you like. This was just a quick little design that I thought would look nice with the bracelet. Okay, so then I'm going to take my needle nose pliers again, put it down up against the bead itself, turn it, give it like a 90-degree angle. Take my cutters, measure about 1/4 of an inch, and snip that off. Okay, then I take my round nose pliers, again making sure that the edge is not sticking out the back of the plier, and I take it and roll into itself, make that little adjustment so that they meet, the end of it meets the middle of the loop itself. We'll do the same with the other. We have our ball pin. I'm going to add the cube, the crystal bead, and another cube. Once again, we'll take our needle nose pliers, put it to the very edge of the cube, push it out to a 90-degree angle. Oop, that one I had a little bit more to do. Okay, there we go. Trim that off. Sometimes they like to move around. You've got to be tough with it. Let it know who's boss. Okay. And again, we take our round nose. Up. Make sure it's not sticking out the edge, is not sticking out the back. Don't lose a hold of it. Sometimes I think they get a mind of their own. You just got to show it who's boss. And again, too, sometimes you can have a really easy day trying to put these together, and other days it can be, you almost pull your hair out because it doesn't want to cooperate. Okay. So there we have our two earrings, and I've got this really nice ear wire that has the loop here at the end. And so I want to take my needle nose pliers again. I take the loop and twist it just like I would for a jump ring. See that? Then I take my loop and earring here, my charm, and I attach that just like this. And then I take my needle nose pliers and go ahead and close the loop, making sure that it closes. So we've got one. And do the same thing with the second one. Twist the loop at the base of the earring. Okay, and then twist back. And there you have your earrings to go with your lovely bracelet. Okay, I'll be working on the camera angles and things like that. So again, if you have any suggestions, comments that you'd like to throw my way, I would really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to doing some more of these videos. And hopefully we can get into the wire wrapping and things like that. And thanks for watching my first jewelry tutorial. And I hope you all have a great night. Thanks so much. Bye for now.